I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jerry. And I walked in the door not being much of anything, and he thought I was something. And I thought later he was just a flower, which he painted all the time. And he had flowers, as you know, up on his place over there. And we'd go over there and smoke some opium and look at the flowers. And then we helped him build a little fish pond up here. And he's responsible for having the fish in the fish pond out front. I mean, he was a remarkable person. I have a pretty good vocabulary. I kind of copied his syntax, which was really remarkable. As Ira was saying, I mean, he really was an extremely generous character. We have a kid, and I haven't been to Bangkok, but when she went there, I contacted Jerry. He showed her the whole city, the whole place. She had really a marvelous time. I think that Linda has a little bit of Sagittarius in her, because that's what he told me when he hired me. He says, my moon is in Sagittarius. He searched it out on Leo's thing, and I found out. So I got my moon's in Sagittarius. So a lot of people here are Sagittarians because they, as he told me, they shoot straight to the mark. And I thought, yeah, great idea for photography, you know, taking that arrow and shooting it right at something like Randy. And he helped hire all the other people that we had here at the beginning. Everybody who was anybody at that time floated through the school. Charles was here, Randy was here, Ira, Peter, Ingeborg, Norman. I mean, it was really the halcyon days of the medium. And all I can say right now is that all you people who are coming here tonight, you sure reflect the beauty that the guy was, and I'll bet there's hundreds, if not thousands more who would be here. So I raise Ira's toast to all of you who are here. Thank you.
Here's some music. Music. Thanks a lot for
in 1969, I showed up. Imogen had told me about Jerry Burchard, and I showed up here, and I had a bad eye infection. I had a Hathaway patch, and my hair was out to about here, and I had a mini skirt on. And Jerry, I was having an interview with Jerry, and he asked me what sign I was. I said Scorpio, and he remembered. You know? So I got my job at the Art Institute thanks to Jerry, and I was always very fond of him, and we had many things inside school and outside school. And when I'd go to Bangkok every now and then, if he was there, it was always a wonderful occasion. And we would almost always go to the amulet market, and it was a place everybody knew Jerry there because he'd come and he'd look at different little Buddhas and stuff. And I bought a few of them, and I bought a little metal one that had something inside that would shake, that made it more special. I don't know. So after he died, I kept thinking about Jerry, and these little every time I'd see one in my house, I'd think of him. So I enlisted the help of Richard Shaw, who can't be here today because it's his 70th birthday, and he's celebrating it in Marin. But Richard helped me make a mold of one of the Buddhas I got with Jerry. I asked for some of Jerry's ashes, and they are blended into the clay, and we made, I hope, enough for everybody to have one to take home, to have a little bit of Jerry, and to remember his good spirit. And as many as Elaine Mays and I could wrap up this morning in Jerry's special silk that he used in a number of his more erotic still lives. You can have a little bit of that to remember him by as well. So, thank you.
I'll say is basically it. Jerry was one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. When I would get lost in North Beach sometimes in the early 60s, get too stoned to make it wherever I was going, I could go to Jerry's house at 4 o'clock in the morning and basically knock on the door. And Jerry would just let me crash there. And we had that. I knew him from the spaghetti factory when I worked there. And that's how I met him. Of course, I was at the Art Institute. He was at the Art Institute. So we had a lot in common in that time. I didn't see him for many, many years. So my memories are mostly of that time in the 60s, which I think were the halcyon days of the San Francisco Art Institute. I agree. Early 60s. But he was just the most generous person. A real beautiful spirit.
Barrett would like to say something too here.
No, I don't have anything to say. I'm just here to model one of Jerry's shirts.
Yeah, I thought so.
Don't have anything to say. There you go. Barrett.